so in the search criteria, so you will search for S3. Okay, this is one way. Otherwise, other option is if you tried already S3 in search criteria, the recently visited services, you will get it here. So you click on S3 directly. Okay, it will take you into the AWS S3 bucket. So here yesterday we created a bucket, right? So today I'm trying to creating one more bucket name with just click on create it. So the bucket name is created successfully. So once you click this bucket name, it will take you inside the bucket. So if you want, you can upload a file directly. Otherwise, you can create a folder with the name EMP. The folder name is EMP and create a folder. So the folder is created. Click on this folder. It will take us inside the folder name. Here you can upload the file. Once you click on upload file, there is the screen, it will appear. Here you can click on add files. Okay. And if you scroll down, so you'll see the button called upload. You can click on upload it. So the file has been successfully uploaded. Clear? I hope now you guys are clear. So now what we'll do is, whatever the file we have loaded in the bucket, so this file will get loaded into Snowflake database. So let's see how we will load the file into Snowflake database. Okay. So this is the S3 URL. So if you are not sure about how we will get the URL path, then you can copy S3 URL. Okay. Okay. First, what we have to do is, the first point in AWS side is S3 bucket is created. Bucket plus folder plus file. Now the second point is, we have created policy already, and the third is role also created. But in the role, if you guys remember, while defining the role, we gave the external ID as 000. So we have to give the Snowflake external ID. So then only AWS and Snowflake can connect to each other in a secure manner. Okay, so this we missed it because we are not aware of the Snowflake external ID. Okay, so how we will get it here is, so we will log in into Snowflake. So first we will create an integration object. In the integration object, we will give the S3 bucket path and AWS role. We will specify it. Okay, the next point is, by describing the integration object, we will get the external ID and IAM user ARN role, you will get it. So I'll show you practically, don't worry. And the next step is we'll create a file format. So the file format is either we are creating a file or we are loading a file is CSV file or JSON file or barcode file. Which file format we are loading. So for that we will create a file format. Then we will create a external staging area. So when we load a file through command line interface, so those are internal staging area. So user stage, table stage and name stage. Once the file is get loaded into internal staging area, from internal staging area we will load the file into Snowflake database, right? So the same way here also, when we load the file into Snowflake database, AWS, which means external staging area. So for that we have to create an external staging area in Snowflake. Okay. Here with the help of copy into command, we will load the file into load file from external staging area into Snowflake database. Okay, so this is how we have to follow the process. In real time also the same pattern. Okay, so nothing will change it. So there are many copy command options. So we will see one by one option usage so that you will get more clarity on it. Okay. So copy into command is the only option to load the file from internal or external staging area into Snowflake database. Okay. So here copy into command play a key role, especially while loading the data or while unloading the data. When I say unloading the data, so imagine this is external or internal stage. And this is Snowflake database. Here Snowflake database, and here external or internal stage. So this internal or external stage, either AWS or Azure or whatever it is. Okay, so first we will load the file into AWS. From AWS, we will load the file into Snowflake database with the help of copy into command. So here we are loading the data from AWS or Azure or GCP to Snowflake database. Okay. Here this is loading. And this is unloading. Unloading in the sense, already data is available in the Snowflake table. Just assume that we have an employee table in Snowflake database. So we are pulling the complete employee related information details, and we will unload the file from Snowflake database to any of these staging areas, either external or internal stage. Okay, so when we will go for this is, if multiple Snowflake developers are there, and if they want to use in case if the table is a sensitive related information, and no one have a permissions to access the data, then in that case what we will do is, with the approval of from the consumer. So once we get the approval from the consumer, what we can do is, instead of defining the role extension in Snowflake, so whoever having access those table, employee related table, that person can pull the data from the Snowflake database table, and that data they will load into the external or internal staging area, so that whoever doesn't having access or permissions for the specific table, the remaining people can access the data from the internal or external staging areas. So this concept we will call it as unloading. Okay, clear? Anyone having any doubts here? Okay, so theoretically, if you guys understand, then we will move to practically. Okay, if anyone having any questions, please raise your concerns. Otherwise, we will go to the practical explanation. So I'll make it AWS. With CSV file. Okay, I'm selecting the database, DemoDB. Okay, so as we discussed, first we'll create AWS S3 configuration, or create integration object. I'm creating a staging area, create or replace storage integration S3 OPJ. So here create or replace storage, this is a complete keyword, and integration is also a keyword. This is integration object. Okay, so we can access the integration by using this object. Okay, so here I'm specifying type equal to, so external AWS, Azure and GCP, these three are external storage. Okay, and user stage, named stage, table stage, these are internal stage. Okay, so now we are trying to connecting from Snowflake to AWS. So AWS is external stage, and storage provider is S3. This is that standard. which means in AWS, the bucket whichever we are trying to creating, so this is the place where we are trying to loading our files into AWS S3 bucket. S3 bucket is a storage provider. Okay. So we are giving same here. By default, the integration object will be disabled in Snowflake, so that we have to enable it. Enabled equal to true. And in AWS we have created a role, right? So search for IAM. So I'm getting role name. So how will get the role name? Search for IAM in the search criteria. So in the left side you will see the roles. Click on roles. So we have created a role. Yesterday we have created a role, right? So this is our role. Click on role name. So here role ARN is the right. Copy this. On the right side you will see the copy into clipboard. Once you click it, then the complete URL it will be copied. So here storage AWS role ARN equal to, in the single quotation you can paste it here. Okay, now role is specified. Now we have to specify the S3 location, that is storage allowed location equal to locations equal to, in the open parenthesis, in the single quotation, and search for S3 I'm copying this URL. So once you click copy S3 URI, so this complete S3 bucket path it will be copied. I'm pasting here. Clear? So now we have created an integration object by providing a type equal to external stage and storage provider equal to S3 enabled equal to true, which means by default it will not be enabled. So that's why we are specifying enable equal to true, which means we are enabling from Snowflake side to connect to AWS. And storage AWS role ARN. This is AWS role name, and this is in S3 bucket. In which folder, which bucket, and which folder level we are loaded file name. So that file path we have to give it here. Okay. So now I'm creating an integration object. So here spelling mistake. Integration object. So whenever we are trying to creating integration object, it is asking insufficient privileges to operate an account, which means by default this account will be system admin. Okay, so in the real time, so some people they will give the permissions in system admin so that you can create and you can connect to AWS account. Okay, so here in Freetile account by default it is not. Okay, sorry. default, whenever we created a Snowflake account, by default it will be a system admin. So for system admin, so external privileges we won't be get it by default. So this case what we can do is, since this is a free trial account, so we will switch from system admin to, so click on drop down, so you will get switch role, right? So click switch role, so you will get account admin. So once the moment you select the account admin, so a new account tab get enabled. Okay, so now I'm creating a integration object. Insufficient privileges. So here I'm changing account admin. So now S3 bucket is created successfully. So this, the main role is not required, I think. So in the worksheet level, so you can see, here if you change the role name, switch from account admin to system admin to account admin, so that you will have permissions to connect from Snowflake account to AWS account. Okay, so then I will create now integration object is created. So now we need to get the external ID. So how we'll get the external ID is, once we create the integration object, then after that by describing integration object name is S3 underscore OPJ. Okay, so whatever we are defining here, we can access with the help of this object. This is the integration object. Okay, so the same we are giving here by executing describe integration object name Snowflake provide few of the parameter property values. Okay, so here we require storage AWS IAM user ARN and storage external ID. So we need these two roles. Okay, so now I'm copying storage AWS IAM user ARN. I'm copying and in AWS search for IAM. So go to the, so this is the IAM page. In the left side you can see the roles. So this is the role which we have created yesterday. So clicking on this role, it will take you inside, and here trust relationship tab is there, right? So here click on trust relationship and click on edit trust relationship. Okay, so here AWS is there, right? So here we have to paste storage AWS IAM user ARN. Okay, so this we are copying and pasting here. And while creating AWS, we give external ID is 000, right? So it is not showing. So here also we will get it, but why it is not showing here, I don't know. Let me refresh it. Okay. And here storage AWS external ID is there, right? So you copy this parameter property value also. And here I'm pasting external ID. So once you click on update trust policy, now AWS and Snowflake can talk to each other in a secure manner. So now all setup is ready. So then the next step is now you can create a file format. So till here, any doubts? Any confusions? All good? Okay. So I'm assuming everyone is clear. And I'm creating a file format. Create or replace.
Hello Mahesh, can you repeat from the roles and all? There is storage, AWS role here, and is there, right? How to copy and how to paste that one there?
Okay. Yeah. I'll sign out. Now I'm logging into AWS. Okay. So when we are trying to loading a file from AWS or Azure or GCP, we need this all parameters. It's a mandatory. Okay. So this is AWS, right? So in AWS, Azure or GCS, few parameter names will change it. Okay, remaining everything will be same only. So now the file we have already loaded into S3 bucket. Now that file our requirement is we will load the file which is available in AWS S3 to Snowflake database. So for that we are creating an integration object. Okay, so in the while creating an integration object, we are defining the type is external storage, external stage, and the storage provider is S3. By default, this will be disabled. So we are enabling. And while the required parameters to connect from Snowflake to AWS is role. AWS role name we needed. So we log into AWS. So now we need AWS role. So the recent visited services, so we will get it here. So here click on IAM. And the left side you can see the roles. Click on role. This is the role which we have created yesterday. Click on this role, and here you will get the role ARN. So you copy this. You copy this role and go to here, and this is the role name. We have to paste it. Okay, AWS role name we have already took. So the next step is we need bucket path. So for bucket path, what we can do is you can in the search criteria from the same page you can search S3. So you will get scalable storage in cloud. Click here. And it will take you into the bucket page. So this is my bucket name. Click on the bucket and click on the folder, and this is the file, right? So here copy S3 URI. Okay, S3 URI is copied, and now I'm pasting here. Okay, if you are not copying it properly, if you type it, even upper lower case also will create a problem. So that's why it is always a best practice to copy from the clipboard. Okay, this is clear. How we will get it this?
Hello.
Yeah, yes please.
Here we select up to folder level only, not in file level, right? Or we upload that employee file.
Yes,
So,
up to folder level only we will copy it.
okay.
File name is not required.
Okay.
So where we will specify the file name, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So till here you guys are clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So once the integration object is created, then we are executing integration object. So the reason why we are configuring other things is in AWS and Snowflake, it should talk to each other in a secure manner. That means no one can hack the data. So the understandable language they will talk to in each other in completely end-to-end encryption format. Other people, whoever is trying to accessing the data during this data or during connection time or during data loading time, no one can hack the data. So that purpose only we are creating a integration object, which means when we execute the integration object, Snowflake provide a few of the parameter values. So out of this we need storage AWS IAM user ARN and storage external ID. Okay, you copy this IAM user ARN role. Okay, so now go to from here from the same page you can search for IAM. Click, it will take you into the IAM page. In the left side you will see the roles. Click on the role, and this is the role which we have created yesterday. Click on trust relationship. Click this tab and click on edit trust relationship. So in AWS you can paste whatever you copied. Okay, and another external ID parameter is there, right? Storage AWS external ID. So copy this parameter value and here you can paste it. Okay, and click on update trust policy. So now AWS and Snowflake can talk to each other in a secure manner. Clear? Any doubts here? If you are confusing which parameter where I have to paste it, so here storage AWS external ID is there, right? So this you can paste it in the external ID. So by indicating external ID, you can easily understand. Okay, and the storage AWS IAM user ARN, you can blindly copy and you can paste it here in AWS parameter level. Clear? Any doubts here, guys?
No.
Okay, fine, perfect. So now all configurations done. So now we will create a file format. Okay, so this is indicating that whether we are loading a file is a CSV file or Parquet file or JSON file. So the file which we have loaded is CSV file, right? So I'm creating create or replace file format. File format name is my CSV file, and the file type is CSV, and field delimiter equal to comma, which means in Excel each and every cell will be treated as a comma. Okay, and skip header equal to 1, which means so I'm skipping this column names, otherwise this column names also it will get loaded. Okay, I don't want to load this column name, I want to load only data only. Okay, that's why I'm specifying skip header equal to 1, and field delimiter, each and every cell will be identified by indicating comma. Clear? And wherever the cell doesn't having a value, null if equal to open parenthesis capital null, and I'm specifying small letter also null. So this is indicating in case here in the city column, if there is no record here, there is no value here, and here it will update it as null. Okay, so that is the thing we are indicating. Wherever the cell value is empty, then we are filling with null. Okay, empty, true, which means wherever you see the field value is empty, that by default it will be disabled, which means whichever the cell doesn't having a record, that it won't filled with null value by default, that it will be disabled, that we are enabling. Okay, this is whichever the cell doesn't having a data, it will try to insert with null value, but while trying to inserting the null value, by default it will be disabled, so that we are enabling. Clear? Parameter field de my dear delimiter, spelling mistake. Okay, so file name is created successfully. So now what we can do is, then now we have to create a external staging area. Create external staging area. Create or replace stage. Stage name is my ext stage. So this is whichever name you guys are comfortable, you can make it. Okay, here and here. Create external stage name. Here we have to specify the storage provider, which storage integration name. Storage integration name is S3 underscore obj. So this is the storage integration object name, right? So this is the integration object. So the same integration object we are giving here. Storage integration name is S3 underscore obj and specifying the URL, which means S3 bucket path. And just copy it and you can paste it here. Okay, and specify the file format, and file format equal to my underscore csv underscore file. So my file format name is my csv file format. Same I'm giving here, and the URL we have to specify the S3 bucket name. So this is external staging area. We are defining it. Okay, this is connecting to AWS, and whatever the privileges he having, it is, and here we have configured external ID and IAM user ARN. So this configuration is done, which means the AWS and Snowflake can talk to each other in a secure manner. This external staging area indicating that it will pull the file name into this my ext stage, which means once we create an external staging area, then in S3 bucket, the folder name called CSV file. So this is the bucket name and this is the folder. Inside this folder, this is the file name. So this file, it will already get and placed into this external staging area. So now the file is available in my ext stage. Okay, so from external staging area, we will load the data into Snowflake database. Okay, so before loading the data, if you want to view it, so here before loading the data, if you want to view the data, what type of data it is. Okay, so I'm loading without loading data into Snowflake database. We can view the data directly from Snowflake. Sorry, directly from AWS S3. Okay, so we'll write select T dot $1 as EMP ID. So employee ID, comma, T dot $2 first name, T dot $3 last name, $4 I think gender, I guess. Yeah, gender. T dot $5 email, T dot $6 is date of birth, $7. This is indicating the column names. So whichever the column names you want to view it, those many column names we have to specify it here. Phone, country, city, region. Okay. T dot $9 equal to country. T dot $10 is city. T dot $11 is region. So if you are not indicating comma, which means columns are ended. If you are indicating comma, which means still system will expect another column. Okay, so now the columns are ended. From external staging area name is my ext stage. You copy this and you can add at and you can paste it. At position 22, unexpected quotation. Okay, so I'm specifying T. So for this external staging area, I'm creating an object called T. So T dot $1, it is indicating that in this external staging area, so this is the object name. In this object, I'm indicating the column names.